Frogs by Randolph Healey. Randolph Healey was born in Scotland in 1956. He moved to Dublin when he was a baby. He left school at 14 to work. He later returned to education and studied maths and science in Trinity College, Dublin. He now teaches maths in a secondary school. Maths, logic and scientific data are in many of his poems. Reflection. In your life so far, what has been your experience with frogs? Stanza 1. On a grassy hill, in a luxury seminary in Glenart. Luxury, very comfortable. Seminary, priest training college in Glenart, County Wicklow. I found, screened by trees, a large stone pond. Frogs like sheltered areas. The poet found a screened pond covered by trees. The waters of solitude. Solitude, peaceful. The frogs chose a peaceful place to reside. Friends. The poet sees frogs as our friends. Stanza 2. Patriarchs. Here the poet uses a metaphor to compare frogs to patriarchs. Patriarchs is a title to show a man respect because of age, especially in religious orders. Frogs have been on earth much longer than humans, so they deserve our respect. 10,000 times older than humanity. Frogs were here 10,000 years before humans. The galaxy has rotated almost twice since they first appeared. Frogs have been in the world for a very long time, and they deserve our respect. Stars take about 250 million years for one full revolution around the center of the galaxy. And the poet says the galaxy has rotated almost twice. So basically, frogs have been here almost 500 million years. Stanza 3. They get 2 grudging notices in the Bible. Grudging notice means negative report. Sepharadea in Exodus. Sepharadea means frogs in Hebrew, in the book of Exodus in the Bible's Old Testament. In this story, Moses tried to lead the Israelis out of slavery from the Pharaoh in Egypt into Israel. Pharaoh didn't want this, so God sent him 10 punishments. One of the punishments was a plague of frogs. Batrakas in the Apocalypse. Batrakas means frogs in the book of the Apocalypse in the Bible's New Testament. The book of the Apocalypse, or Revelations, tells us about signs of the end of the world. One of the signs is that Satan will come and frogs will come out his mouth. I will smite all thy borders with frogs. God said in the book of Exodus, he will send lots of frogs to Egypt to punish Pharaoh. I saw 3 unclean spirits like frogs. In the book of Apocalypse, one of the signs is that Satan will come and 3 frogs will come out his mouth. Stanza 4. Their numbers have been hugely depleted. Depleted, reduced. the number of frogs in the world has greatly been reduced, principally mainly by students doing experiments on frogs, and this is the main reason why the number of frogs have reduced. Stanza 5. Sever its brain. To sever is to divide by cutting. The frog continues to live. The frog is still alive during the severing of the brain in the science labs. It ceases to breathe, swallow, or sit up. It stops breathing, swallowing, or sitting up, and lies quietly if thrown on its back. It just lies down quietly as if it has been placed on its back. Locomotion and voice are absent. He can't move around and he can't make any sound. Suspended by the nose. The students hang the frog by the nose. Irritate the breast, elbow and knee with acid. Students put acid on the frog's breast, elbow and knee. Sever the foot that wipes the acid away. The students cut off the other foot that wipes away the painful acid. Stanza 6. It will grasp and hang from your finger. The frog will try to grasp and hold tightly the finger of the human. Stanza 7. There is evidence that they navigate by the sun and the stars. Evidence, scientific proof that frogs find their direction by watching the position of the sun and stars in the sky. Stanza 8. This year, 32, I said. This year the poet is 32. I'll be damned if Maureen has frogs. I'll be damned. I am very shocked or surprised. He is surprised that his friend or neighbour Maureen has frogs. And dug a pond. The poet decided to dig a pond in his garden to have some frogs too. Over 80 hatched. 80 frogs came out of the frog spawn in his pond, propped up with cat food. He fed the frogs cat food until the cats ate them. The cats ate his frogs. It was only weeks later we discovered 6 shy survivors. The cats ate most of the frogs, except for 6 shy ones who survived. Only 6 survived, showing us how scarce they are today. Stanza 9. The hieroglyph for the number 100,000 is a tadpole. Hieroglyphs, the ancient Egyptian symbols used in writing and mathematics. Frogs were once the symbol of plenty. Now they are scarce. Stanza 10. Light ripples down a smooth back. The poet describes the beauty of the frog he is looking at in the seminary, and we are back again to the start of the poem. La grenouille, the French word for frog. People eat frogs' legs in France as a rare delicacy. Gone. Maybe the frog he was watching at the seminary has hopped away and is gone. Or maybe he means if humans are not more careful, frogs may totally disappear.